Hello, everyone. Welcome to the North Star Sports Talk podcast. I'm your host, Connor.
And I'm Carter. And I know we said we wouldn't have another special guest for this episode, but we kind of lied to you on that one. We have a special guest for this episode. We're going to be talking about baseball and the Twins. And so pulling up to the studio, we got my man Jonathan, and he is a huge baseball fan. He backs me up because I do not know anything about baseball. So hopefully he's got me covered on that. Jonathan, you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks again for having me on the pod, Connor and Carter. Looking forward to it. If you can follow me on X at JPK12698. Fun fact about me, I was at the game last year where Buxton hit for the cycle on his bobblehead day.
Oh my! I remember watching that game. Wow, that was a crazy game.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I was like gonna go to that game and then I didn't, but I just remember I was watching it on TV and I just went insane. I think I knew one of my friends that was at that game too. But wow, that's a crazy fun fact.
Yeah. Where I live, I only get to a couple games a year. Live out of state, but we had because earlier in the league it looked like Skeens might be lined up to start that game, and we were hoping to see Skeens, but I think we got a better treat than Skeens.
Actually, I saw Skeens. Skeens pitched that
Friday
on that Friday. I went. I think that was the next day, wasn't it?
It was the day
the
after.
cycle. Yeah. We beat Paul Skeens. I remember that. Trevor Larnach hit a home run. And then we ended up beating the Pirates. That was an exciting game. That got a lot of fans down there. I was sitting first level, so that was a fun game to go to. That was about the only fun thing that happened that season. We don't talk
Speaking
about
of Trevor Larnach, why haven't we traded this
fella? I don't know. We'll get to that later. First, we gotta cover the WBC World Baseball Classic that just recently happened. Just a week ago or whatever it ended. So that was an exciting baseball tournament. So Jonathan, tell me a little bit about your reactions about just the overall tournament, not just like the USA, just overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great tournament, and honestly, I think it might be, for me at least, I think it is the most exciting tournament in all of sports.
Oh, that's a crazy take.
It's a crazy take. But you see, any international tournament, any international game is better than any sort of like club game. Like you think of, you think of the Olympics, you think of the World Cup, even casuals are dialed into that. And the WBC is a newer tournament, which is why it maybe hasn't gotten to that prestige. It's only been around for about 20 years. So it doesn't have the history behind it. But you see like a lot of players, especially on some other teams like the Dominican, a lot of players like I think Julio Rodriguez said that he would rather win the WBC than the World Series. Caminero said that he would skip spring training to be a bat boy for the team. Some of the Venezuelan players, they hadn't even taken off their jerseys except to sleep after winning that game the other night. And even USA, sometimes they acted like they didn't care, but they've said that they did.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you can see just by watching those players, they're putting their hearts out there. They are putting a ton of effort in for their country, not just a team. And it means a lot to the country as a whole to see a team succeed like that instead of, just a city like, the Yankees winning, but like the whole country, Venezuela, that's huge for them.
Speaking of Venezuela, the world champions this year. Venezuela kind of came out of nowhere. They were a wild card team coming out of the group, and they kind of came out of nowhere, just had a crazy run and made it to the championship and beat the powerhouse of Team USA. So that, if you want to call them a powerhouse, this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Venezuela itself, I mean, you got to give them credit. They have a rich history of baseball players. As Twins fans, we were obviously treated to Johan Santana for many years. Miguel Cabrera, for instance, I think was their hitting coach. And they've still got some other great players like Acuna and Yeah, even some guys that just show up for the WBC and raise their performance, like Eduardo Rodriguez was back to his prime. Luis Ariz actually started hitting other than singles.
Yep, Twins legend. Yeah, Twins legend, Luis Ariz. I was cheering for him. I was very happy that he did well because I still really enjoy watching him as a player. So
the only thing I wish was different is that Pablo Lopez was able to play, but
I know he probably would have been able to pitch. He might have pitched that championship if he was healthy. So because
there's an alternative timeline where the championship could have been Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan as the starters.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that would have been the battle of the century.
So good for them. Congratulations. Obviously, like as a Team USA fan, a bit disappointed by that, especially the way that our lineup played in the championship and some of the other big games. But
yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think it's very good. I mean, no matter who you support, I think it's very good for the sport of baseball. Just like that tournament, it just kind of got crazy viewership, and I think I was reading just before this that the World Baseball Classic actually had more viewers than the entire NBA Finals of last year. So, which was the Thunder and Pacers, which that was that went to Game 7 too. So
that was a very exciting series.
That was an exciting series, but for the Baseball Classic final to outdo that in viewership it's huge for the game of baseball. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of casuals will tune in that game just because it's Team USA, especially with the way hockey performed recently and just kind of a lot of the excitement that came around the country from that. So that was some good momentum. But do you think that there should be any sort of changes to the format? Obviously, it's not a series-type format, which is how baseball is played everywhere else. Kind of interested to see your thoughts on if you think it works well in the spring or if it should be at a different time of year, right duration.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree with like how the setup is now. I mean, I know a lot of people probably would disagree with me, but I like that it's like in the spring before the like season starts, and if it does like stick with the same timeline, like same like time of year, like in the spring before the season starts, you can't really have a set like a best of 7 series in like the tournament, just because it'll absolutely destroy the pitcher's arms before the season, and obviously they want to be able to pitch for their team, like they play for the MLB team. So obviously, if Paul Skeens pitches a couple games in the series in one series, he pitches like game 1 and like game 5 or something in a series, and blows out his arm, like the Pirates are going to be super ticked by that. So like I feel like I like the format, and two, it shows like that you really need to like play your absolute best in that game, because it's win or go home for that single elimination game. So you need to it's like the Super Bowl. You need to play your absolute best because there's just that one game or you're going home.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and part of it is like baseball is kind of a little bit more of a random sport than say football or the NBA, but yeah. I mean, I think when it is one game, I think you're going to see the best of each team in those games.
Yeah.
I think that's a big reason why it had so many viewers as compared to a lot of other games, because the stakes are so high for the one game, makes people want to tune in rather than, this series could go on for a couple more games. So I think I agree with that. I like the format that it's at right now, and especially with, not wanting to blow out a pitcher's arm, but also for just raising the stakes for their overall tournament, for sure.
Absolutely.
I do think you could move it to the summer, like every 4 years, expand the All-Star break, still keep it as like the 2-week format, because we've seen that the NHL has been able to do that with the Four Nations face-offs and with the Olympics, and it's worked for them. I think MLB could do it, and obviously you would need the other leagues like the NPB and the KBO to do it, but they care about the WBC even more than we do. So I think they would have no problem doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But-
Yeah, but some final thoughts from me on the WBC. I really like the tournament. I like how it's kind of every few years it kind of raises the stakes, and it's like the NHL, like the Four Nations and stuff, the Olympics. It's like a battle of putting on your country's jersey and representing your country. It's every player wants to win. So it was wonderful. And kind of one little final afterthought too. I saw Venezuela really like prioritized like faith too in their like after their win, like during the tournament. I saw some like locker room talks from Venezuela, obviously in Spanish because they're Venezuelan, but they like had captions in English, and it was they're like praying to God and like talking about how like Jesus like died for us and like we need to do everything for him, and just kind of talking about, and even like reading Bible verses. I think one of the like coaches read like from First Corinthians or something. I can't remember what the exact verse was, but I remember seeing it and I was just like kind of like, wow, this is like super great. I know like even like in a nation where you don't like, I mean, us as Americans, many Americans don't obviously probably know what like the like they're saying, like, because a lot of people don't recognize like the words, the language, but it's just great to see the unification of the Lord in all languages and just throughout the world, just how they prioritize the faith and how they prioritize just giving all their talents and gifts to the Lord. So that was wonderful to see after, I will have to say that.
Yeah, it was great to see that from, Adrian Suarez. He's such a great faith leader in the locker room. And, I saw some guys I saw a player from the Diamondbacks online saying, yeah, he's like this in the locker room all the time. He's just a great guy there. And yeah, hit the game-winning double post-game interview, and he gave glory to God immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always great to see.
Yeah, speaking of faith in baseball, and this will kind of transition us into talking about the Twins some more in this episode, but there's been a lot of articles circulating around Carlos Correa and his relationship to God that kind of sparked over this summer. So, reading an article from the New York Post, it says, Correa opened up to MLB.com this week in revealing that last summer, while in Minnesota, shortly before the trade back to Houston, he and his young son nearly drowned. And that article goes on to talk about he was in Lake Minnetonka with his 3-year-old son, and he started getting cramps while swimming, and he was trapped between his boat and the shore, and it was not going good. He was praying to God, and he said, God, I'll serve you forever if you get us out of here. And there was a lot in this article. You can go read it for yourself on the New York Post. But pretty much he was saved. Someone heard his cry. They threw a buoy out to him. He grabbed it by the tip of his pinky finger, according to the article. You can do with that what you will. But the point is that he was saved, and it was a very close to near-death experience for both him and his son. And now Correa is very passionate about his faith, and he's talking about his relationship to God. And, you just love to see a player. Well, you don't love to see a player go through that, obviously. And I'm very happy that, he made it out alive. Thank the Lord. But you love to see players giving credit to God and growing in their faith. And so I think that was just a cool thing. There's been quite a few articles about that recently. But now, going off that, we can talk about the Twins a little bit. How do you guys... Yeah.
I just want to say about Correa, him calling out to God, if you save me, I will serve you all my life. That's just a Martin Luther moment.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is. It's very like, I mean, it's a clear sign from God. I mean, God definitely heard him saying like, "Hey, I will serve you the rest of my days. Like basically, like if you get me out of this, and God took that and was like, oh well,
Yeah.
like and he's now going to use him for spreading his name and spreading the gospel, which is wonderful. I mean, God can take it. Just shows you that God can take something so bad like that, like such a traumatizing like experience of almost drowning in a lake, and use it for His glory and just for His good, and just spreading the name of Jesus. It just shows you how good He is. Shows
For
you how
sure.
truly good He is.
I don't have a good opinion of Correa as a player, but it was good to see that as him as a person, and his faith and how, and I hope that he continues to be a positive spiritual influence all his days.
For sure.
Yeah, now we gotta transition to
Get
the
into
Twins.
the Twins a little bit. Jonathan, any initial thoughts on looking at the Twins this year?
Yeah, it might be easier to find reasons for pessimism than optimism. Obviously, I know that ownership, the morale with ownership is at an all-time low. But now they kicked out Joe Pohlad, and Tom Pohlad's kind of taken over. He's said big things about, we're going to raise spending. We're going to be competitive this year. But who'd we sign this offseason for big money? Victor Caratini? Like, he's a good player, but, $7 million a year, that's not, like, we did not really replace dumping Correa's salary. We were, like, still, I don't know, like $40 million below what we were last year and, like, $60 million above our high in 23, which that's not how inflation usually works, right? I don't think tricking yourself into thinking you can be competitive when everyone else sees you're not never really works out. Because one team, for instance, that I can think of that does that all the time is the Angels, who they never had a 100-loss season, so they haven't been, in the complete bottom, but they haven't made the playoffs since 2014. They've wasted Mike Trout's career.
Yep, that was very unfortunate to see, but he's getting old now, so.
Yeah. So. But, yeah, I mean, the comments might sound good, but without any sort of, action behind that from the Pohlad family, I mean, how much do you trust them? Probably not much. But I will say this. Don't let the way these billionaires act ruin your love for the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's letting the billionaires win. Now, I know that some people, won't be happy, giving their money to that, but just enjoy it. Just enjoy it for the love of the game.
Yeah, I will have to agree with that. It's hard. Obviously, I mean, you want a winning team. You want to like have a competitive team. You want to be able to go to games and like see them like compete and hit a lot of home runs and win most of the time. But that's not how it's gonna work. Probably this year. I mean, you never know. They could shock us somehow, but I don't know. I don't see us being like really good at all. But I mean, you just gotta take what you can and just have fun with it. Just enjoy the atmosphere of the game and just I mean, baseball is still such a fun game. I still have so much like love for the game, even though like the team is not that great. So I myself have a very very fond like love for the Texas Rangers too. So I'm a Rangers fan as well. Obviously I'm a Twins fan first because I'm a hometown kid, but I do really like the Rangers too. So I'm hoping that I've been kind of paying attention to them a little bit too. I'm hoping that they are going to be a little bit better this year. They were at one point in the season last year in a playoff spot. Like they were in a wild card spot for a little bit, but then they kind of fell off late in the season. So
I don't know, man. That 2023 team needs to be investigated.
Yeah.
That was such an outlier year, man.
That was crazy. I was like watching that year. I was like, and then after that, just downhill like out of nothing. It was crazy. I don't know what happened. I don't know how they were just like so good. I mean, were they a wild card team that year in 23?
Yeah, I think so. I think they lost the division late to the Astros. Yeah, because they lost the division late to the Astros because the Twins faced the Astros in the ALDS.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
Was that the year we broke? Did we break the curse in 23?
yep, that was the year.
And then the Rangers ended up winning the World Series.
Yeah.
Wow.
The 2023 playoffs was insane because it was the Rangers and the Diamondbacks in the World Series.
Yeah, that was an
Like we
odd-
had it so good then.
Yeah.
Now it's been the Yankees, Dodgers, and Blue Jays the past few years.
And then 24 comes and just downhill, and then 25 also downhill.
Yeah, but it does seem like overall the sport is growing, which is good to see. I think the pitch clock has actually been really good for the game. Attendance is up, viewership is up. We saw that with the World Baseball Classic outdrawing the NBA Finals. This tournament's only 20 years old. Only happens every 3-4 years.
Yep.
So that's good. But another reason why you should watch the Twins this year is because you might not be able to watch baseball next year.
Yep. Yeah, that's another thing. The lockout. That's bound to happen.
Yeah. The question isn't not if it's going to happen, but how long it lasts. Is it going to be the full season? Is it going to be like, 21 or 22, or it just started a couple weeks late? We'll see. But yeah, I just hope that doesn't kill any momentum the game has. I hope that the players and the owners can realize that and get a deal done. But not optimistic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jonathan, do you want to get into, explaining what this is for those who, don't really pay attention that closely to baseball? What's going on with this?
Yeah, so basically the players and the owners don't like each other right now because the owners, they want a salary cap because that will give them guaranteed expenditures every year, which gives them a better valuation for the franchise. And they can sell that to fans saying, oh, everyone's going to be equally competitive, which if you look at, some of the other leagues that have salary cap, that's not exactly what ends up happening. But players are like, hey, we don't want this because that limits our earnings potential. And so, what can it do? What can they, work together? Some have also proposed a salary floor, but the owners aren't going to want that because that'll push teams like, such as the Twins, maybe to spend a bit more in the, especially teams like the Marlins. But and a lot of this conversation has been directed around, the Dodgers. It seems like there is no end to their money. They found the infinite money glitch, which is deferring it. And so that's got a lot of, the public to maybe support a salary cap. So that's the main thing that is the divide. And I think was it Manfred came into the Phillies locker room and Bryce Harper just swore at him to get out of there or something.
Dang.
He might have brought up the salary cap or something, but he was it's
Tensions are high.
so
Yep.
enjoy this year. So we don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out, but that's next year, so we just got to focus on this year for now.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll God only knows what will happen next year, so we'll have to see for ourselves. So talk about a little bit about the lineup this year, like the batting lineup, because obviously it's a lot different at the start of this year rather than the start of last year with all the trades that happened last year. So Jonathan, give a little kind of rundown on what you think the lineup's going to look like. And
Well, lineup won't be as different as say the bullpen will be, but catcher you'll still have Ryan Jeffers. He's still there. First base is probably going to be Josh Bell. He was a free agent we signed this offseason. He's been hitting the ball really hard and really well in spring training. And I have a hot take about Josh Bell. I think that at the All-Star break, I think he will be the Twins' best hitter.
Really? All
I
right.
think he always has like one good half per year, and then the rest he's kind of mid. But he he seems to be torching the ball in spring training. This also speaks to how bad maybe the rest of the lineup is. There are some other good players like Buxton and Keyshaw that, I mean, that's why it's, a hot take that, he might be better than them. But I think Buxton and Keyshaw are better, like, all-around players. I think that Keyshaw might be our only all-star just because second base is such a weak position compared to, center field or first base, for instance. So,
Well,
second base is Luke Keyshaw. Were you going to say anything else about it?
Oh, and I was just going to say, we'll have to see about Buxton because if he puts up numbers similar to last year, he could be a reserve for the All-Star game, but then again.
Silver Slugger, he had a great year last year. I hope it continues, but, he is starting to hit that edge of the aging curve. We'll see if he can stay healthy. I hope so. It sounds like a lot of that has maybe gone away, but you never know if that could flare up again.
Yep. But, you were talking about the rest of the lineup, so you got second base.
Yeah, second base. Luke Keyshaw will probably be our opening day second baseman. He impressed really well last year. Still got a bit to work on defensively, but he is such a good contact hitter and has good enough power. He can steals a ton of bases. He hit for 300 in the 2 months he was up with the team last year. He should be a fun player to watch. He's gonna be one of those young players that we haven't really seen enough that we might be able to see more of this year. That it could be exciting to see what maybe the future of the Twins hold, and I hope that Keyshaw will be part of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I agree.
Yep. Third base is Royce Lewis, and Royce is in the. There's a few other players in here that this is kind of a referendum year on him. Because obviously when he came into the league, he was electric. He had all those grand slams. He had the huge home runs in the playoffs the year we broke the streak. But second half of 2024 and all of last year, he was a below average hitter. And if he has another year of that, is he ever going to live up to his full potential?
That is a great question. That is a beautiful question. I don't know. I mean, he looked so good that year, like you said, with all those grand slams and everything. And I mean, he looked like he could be like our Anthony Edwards or our Kirill Kaprizov, like that, like equating the Wild and the Wolves players.
Or you could say, or with his media train, you could compare him to, is it Lonzo Ball? Which one is it?
Is it LaMelo?
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo, the one with the terrible PR. Yeah, maybe not as bad as LaMelo, but he's got some bad. He needs some PR training too.
Yeah.
So you can look up some of his quotes online. We don't have time to get into that. Shortstop looks like it's going to be Brooks Lee, another player that we need a referendum on. He was a first-round pick, top prospect, came up in 2024, wasn't great. Last year was bad. He's got a chance to play shortstop as the starting shortstop for the team this year, but clock is ticking for him. We've got some other, the last two first-round picks have been shortstops. I don't like Culpepper's probably knocking on the door for him. And if Brooks Lee doesn't perform, Culpepper's going to take his job. Now, if Brooks Lee performs and maybe Royce Lewis doesn't, Culpepper might replace Royce Lewis.
Dante Culpepper? Or is that?
No, Kalen Culpepper. Dante's
Culpepper. The Vikings quarterback.
So if I had a nickel for every time
Vikings.
a Minnesota team drafted in the first round someone with the last name Culpepper, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that happened twice, right?
Yes. Yep. Culpepper.
Hopefully this Culpepper is as good as the last one.
Yeah.
Or better.
Yeah. So, right out of the gate, he's been hitting very well in the minors, and I think he'll probably start the year at AAA. He should be knocking on the door anytime soon. One thing I forgot to mention about Royce Lewis, it sounds like he did get some help this offseason. He worked with Bobby Witt's hitting coach. He actually hadn't worked with a hitting coach before or something, which is a bit of a...
It's kind of absurd.
Or maybe I think he just used his dad or something. So the fact that he is able to get to the highs he did was insane. But
interesting.
Hopefully that helps him out. It doesn't. Spring training stats don't look good, but We'll see.
Yeah.
The left fielders penciled in to be Trevor Larnach / Austin Martin, depending on if it's lefty or righty starting. Larnach looked above average in 2024, but he's been in the league 5 years now, and he's been an average hit. He's been slightly above average hitter as against righties. Can't hit lefties. Can't play defense. Like, what does he really bring to this team?
Yeah.
What does he even do?
What does he do?
Exactly. And it's not like the Twins don't have any other left-handed corner outfielders, because there's also Rodin, who's been hitting really well in spring training. We got for Louis Varland. You have Walker Jenkins and Emmanuel Rodriguez knocking on the door, two of our top prospects right now. You also have Matt Wallner, who I think is a better alternative. James Outman, who at least can play defense. But Outman might also be on the way out too.
Yeah, James Outman. Yeah, he might be on the way out.
Yeah,
Oh,
just like his,
that was-
just
that was
like his
such a good one.
doppelganger was Ryan Fitzgerald. But so center field still Buxton. So hopefully he has a year just as good as last year. I will be elated. I think we all would be elated if Buxton is as good this year. So
Oh yeah.
Yes.
sounds like he considered waiving his no trade clause if the Twins traded Ryan and Lopez this offseason, which might have been a good idea based on which I think might have happened if Joe Pohlad stayed in charge, which was probably wiser than keeping them. But we'll see if this works out. But obviously, it would be a pain to see any of them go. But enjoy Buxton while he's here. He's just a great player.
Yeah, I agree. I would have to agree with that 100%. I love Buxton. He's a cool hometown player. Well, he's
Been
not.
loyal
He
so
wasn't
long.
born. He wasn't born in Minnesota, but he's been with us his whole career, so it's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
He's
Kinda
been
cool.
around so long. I remember a little fun fact. When I was a kid, I got to meet him. I was probably like 10 years old, and he came to a park right by my house. I got his autograph, got a picture with him.
Oh
you know,
my.
it was
Let's
hype.
go.
He's just such a great dude. You know, you love to see him in the community and all that kind of stuff, and he's fun to watch. So you just gotta have fun watching him while he's here, and respect his that he's past his prime, but he's
Yep.
still a great player.
Yeah. Again, a little fun fact too. Guess who I got a picture with?
Who was it?
Oh, another hometown player,
Hometown or homegrown?
homegrown. Like he was, Minnesota.
Homegrown.
Minnesota.
Matt
Ooh.
Wallner?
No,
Joe Mauer?
Joe Mauer.
Joe
Joe
Mauer.
Mauer.
Dang.
Wallner comes
Yeah.
to mind before Mauer.
Joe Mauer. I got a picture with him. He was taking pictures with fans at his. It was the Twins were celebrating his induction into the National Hall of Fame, and so Joe Mauer was there giving a speech before the game, and then like way before the game, he was taking pictures with fans. So me and one of my buddies got in line. We were one of the 10 or 11 final people to get a picture with
Oh
him.
wow.
Like we were super close to the cutoff, and it was perfect timing.
Sweet.
So, yeah, wonderful. I still got the picture on my phone. That'll be a memory for life for me.
For
So,
sure.
I grew up watching Joe Mauer. He was like my child idol. Like it was, I wanted to grow up and be like Joe Mauer. So it was
you go.
great.
Yeah, players like Mauer and Buxton don't come around every day. So
Yeah, kind of. As a final thing, we talked about the lineup a little bit. Now we get into the rotation a little bit. I know you said the rotation looks a lot different,
Yeah.
more different than the lineup does. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I did want to finish up with the lineup that we were talking about. What I was thinking about Wallner is because he'll probably be our right fielder who he hits the ball really hard but also strikes out a ton. So we'll see if he finally
Oh yeah.
puts it all together for 1 year. Our rotation. So Joe Ryan.
Joe Mauer's back.
Joe Mauer's back.
He's a pitcher now.
Now,
Yeah.
converted from a catcher to a pitcher, which Paul Skeens did that. He represented Utah U12. I think Pete Fro Armstrong pitched to Paul Skeens, and now Paul Skeens is the starting pitcher and PCA is the center fielder. Anyhow, Joe Ryan will get the opening day nod since Pablo Lopez was supposed to be that, but Fortunately, early in spring training, it was announced that he had to get Tommy John, which was a huge blow to everyone. And this actually isn't his first opening day start. He was our opening day starter in 2022, which easy to forget that. So All-Star last year, should have a great year. We'll see if he gets traded. Now, then there's Bailey Ober, who was good for a while. Last year, his velo never got to where it was. This year, it still is pretty low. He needs to get it up to back to where it was, and even 93, which he can get away with doing that because he's got good off-speed stuff, and he's got a ton of extension, so the perceived velocity is more. But if you, as a righty, when you can't hit 90 in this day and age, and you're not a submarine pitcher, you don't really have much of a chance.
Yeah. Submarine pitchers are crazy. I watch them, I'm like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but and then Simeon Richardson, he finished the year really strong last year, hoping he can build on that next year. Taj Bradley, we got at the deadline for Griffin Jacks, has a ton of major league experience, was a big prospect, but has been mid. We'll see if he can finally put it together. And then the final spot came up for a little bit of a competition in spring training between Mick Abel and Zebby Matthews after the injuries to Pablo Lopez and David Festa. And I know, I still have some belief in that Zebby Matthews will finally break out. He's a good pitcher to have as the sixth starting pitcher. Your sixth starting pitcher is probably going to be up by the end of April if someone struggles or someone gets hurt. But yeah, Mick Abel in spring training, his stuff looked great. He's getting a ton of swings and misses, which is a data point that in spring training you can look at and be like, okay, that's probably going to be really good. All the stuff plus miles look good on him. We got him for Joan Duran. And it's funny, though, because a lot of fans wanted us to get Andrew Painter, who was like a top 10 prospect in baseball. Mick Abel was lower on the list, closer to 100. But we were only able to get Mick Abel, and we also got Eduardo Tait for that. He was a ways away. But Abel's stuff has looked a lot better in spring training than Painter. It would be really funny if Abel ended up to be the better pitcher.
Yeah, that will be kind of wild. But kind of a little segue away from the rotation for now. I was looking up because I was just curious about like Twins, like the Twins' projected record this year, and different like forecasts, like programs like used, like equal out to them being projected at the 77 to 80 win range. So, which is around a 500 record.
Yeah, just below 500.
Just below 500. So, they're projecting them to be better than last year, because last year they were like what 10 or 15 games below 500. I think
we got to 90 losses.
Yeah. So they're projecting them to be a little bit better, but they're also projecting them to end at third in the Central, with potential 19% chance to make the playoffs. So
who else do they have them beating besides Chicago? Because I think Kansas City, Cleveland, and Cleveland doesn't have a better roster, but shenanigans happen and they end up winning 80 games.
Yeah, what do they have? I wonder if they have like Detroit.
No, Detroit. I think Detroit's probably the strongest team in the division.
Detroit number one, number one, then Cleveland, then us, and then KC and the White Sox maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think this is a team that if everything goes right, like a 90th percentile plus outcome, they could make the playoffs. But that again.
Yeah, they would need everything to go right. Mm-hmm. They're probably gonna have to rely on their rotation to like strengthen them, because their lineup I don't think is good enough to like get some. I mean, they have a few good players. I mean, if Buxton is on, he'll be pretty good. He'll have a probably 20 to 30 home run season. And if Keishel pops off and really goes up, and then if Lewis like comes back and redeems himself, like if all that happens, then we could be a fairly competitive wild card team. But I don't know. Well, yeah, we just have to
Everything has to go right.
make sure our bullpen and our rotation hold up.
Man, I don't even want to read the names on the bullpen.
Yeah, no, me neither. But we don't have a closer anymore. We brought back Taylor Rogers, who is terrible. Yeah, fake clap.
Well, it was good to see that he wanted to come back at least. And I mean, yeah, with the new manager, Derek Shelton, it sounds like he's popular. And I hope that he can do things well with the Twins. But he wasn't able to do much with the Pirates. And I know the Pirates aren't exactly, they don't have a ton of resources. But do the Twins really have that much more?
Not really.
Nope.
So, but you never know. I mean, sometimes, managers, it doesn't work for them the first time. It works for them the second time.
Yeah, that is true.
So
I think I didn't like the way that Rocco managed our team, so I think he was too light. He wasn't firm enough. He was kind of just whatever. Oh, we lost.
Yeah,
So
well, it
I
usually
did-
goes from that's like the managerial pendulum swings from more of like a disciplinary, which it sounds like Shelton is, to more of the I don't know, relational maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I when you said manage a team, at first I thought you were gonna criticize his in-game decisions, which I didn't have as much a problem with that. But yeah, the way he managed the teams in terms of like, oh, we just lost, like that was the real problem.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like he had a good job communicating.
No, not at all. He probably was just like, we need to do this next game. Okay.
Next game, we need to score more.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Big news. No. But yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah, we got a nice good information here on this episode. But yeah, I don't have any. Carter, do you have any final questions at all?
Why don't we go around and each, give a little record prediction?
Okay.
Like if
Or-
we're being
yeah.
totally realistic here, no pessimism, no optimism, just realism right here.
Well, should we all like say what do we want? What our picks are on the over under? Or
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
over under.
What
let's
is
see
the
what the
over-under?
over under is?
I think it's around 73. I might be wrong.
I don't support sports betting, but it's good. They draw them from the sports books are good because they draw them the sports books have good predictions because they draw them from like the actual models and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. It looks like it's 73.5. So, which is interesting that it's that different from like, the Zips miles and the Steamer miles that were saying more in the 77 to 80 range.
73.5, you said?
Yeah, 73.5.
Okay. I'm going to go just because, okay, I'll start off here. I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to go, I don't know. Because what's 73 and how many?
73.5.
73 and how many losses would that be? So there's
That would
162
be
games.
89?
73 and 89. So that would be technically better than probably last year.
Yeah. Last year they only won 70 games, so yeah, even
I don't know. I'm going to go over, honestly. I'm going to go a little bit over. I think they're going to get to like maybe 75, 76.
yeah, I would agree with that. I think 76 is a good number to be at. I mean, if we're being if I'm keeping hope as a fan, I could say, 78, getting closer to 500, but I don't think we peak into the 80s.
Yeah. I can't have a show where all three of us pick the over on the Twins this year, so I'm going to take the under cuz I mean, yeah, we lost 90 games last year, but the first half of the season we had the guys we traded. We weren't winning, and then we went that bad without them. So I think there will be some good performances by some players this year. Hopefully, Lukisha. Hopefully, at least a couple of those guys. It's a referendum year, do well. But yeah, I think they're going to get under that 73.5 mark. But
That is fair.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just have to see by the end of this year, which is not till end of September. So it'll be
you have
way
to start
long.
the year first.
Yeah. It'll be way long.
One thing you can look forward to is that because the Twins were so bad last year, is that we have the number 3 overall pick, and we might not get Rock Chalowski, but we might draft LeBron.
Hey, LeBron.
Yeah.
You gotta bring in LeBron.
Yeah,
Hey,
LeBron.
Michael Jordan was no good at baseball. We'll see if LeBron is the GOAT
Yeah.
after this.
Yep, Justin LeBron. So
Justin LeBron, not LeBron James.
Oh, darn it.
not Bronny either.
Not Bronny. Oh,
Justin LeBron is
boy.
actually good.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Crazy Stray.
yeah, Jonathan, I want to thank you for hopping on the show tonight and being a guest. This was great to get your insight
Thanks for having
and
me.
information on baseball and knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime, yeah. Just follow me for some more bad Twins takes at JPK12698. And yeah, so thank you guys. Obviously, yeah, Carter's a good friend of my brother's and a friend of mine. And then Connor, I just met him now, but cool guy.
Yeah, appreciate it, Jonathan. Yeah, sweet. All righty. Well, that concludes this episode of the North Star Sports Talk podcast. And we will see you next episode where we'll just see what we talk
It'll
about.
be mystery. You'll have to
it'll
tune
be mystery. You'll have to
Yep.
tune in. Yeah,
I gotta
'cause
tune in.
we definitely know what we're talking about.
Oh, we
next
do.
Episode. Yeah,
We definitely
yeah.
are not having another special guest.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely not
yeah,
this
yeah,
time. This time, maybe not. I'm
You'll
not
have to
going to
find out.
confirm or deny that. All right. You'll just have to find out next episode.
Stay tuned.
All righty. Bye-bye.